Artificial intelligence began as a thought experiment long before computers were powerful enough to do anything interesting. In 1943, Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts sketched a mathematical neuron, showing that logic could be built out of biology-inspired circuits. 7 years later, Alan Turing asked in his famous 1950 essay whether a machine might ever fool us into thinking it was human, and the field took on a philosophical as well as an engineering mystique. The term artificial intelligence itself was coined at the 1956 Dartmouth Summer Workshop, the moment researchers started acting like a community with an audacious shared goal. Early experiments were mostly symbolic. Joseph Weizenbaum's ELIZA in 1966 proved people could feel an emotional connection to the thinnest of rule-based scripts, while expert systems of the 1970s and 80s tried to bottle specialized knowledge. The public finally took notice in 1997 when IBM's Deep Blue toppled world chess champion Garry Kasparov, confirmation that computers could outgun us at a quintessentially intellectual pursuit, and a hint that niche superhuman abilities would become normal. Progress accelerated once practitioners swapped handwritten rules for data-driven learning. Support vector machines and boosting methods raised the bar through the 2000s. But the real inflection came in 2012 when AlexNet, powered by GPUs, crushed an image recognition benchmark and rebranded neural networks as deep learning. 3 years later, generative adversarial networks showed that models could invent convincing photos from nothing. And in 2016, DeepMind's AlphaGo dispatched Go legend Lee Sedol, an achievement many experts had thought at least a decade away. The next leap looked almost like Moore's law applied to parameter counts. Transformers, introduced in 2017, let networks pay selective attention to pieces of text rather than march through them sequentially. BERT, 2018, reinvented language understanding as pre-training plus light fine-tuning. And GPT-3 in 2020, 175 billion parameters exposed through a simple web API, turned large-scale language models into a commercial platform. Diffusion techniques married with clip embeddings soon did the same for images, so that by mid-2022, DALL-E 2 was letting non-artists conjure illustrations with a sentence. Scientific and societal milestones followed in quick succession. AlphaFold 2 publicly released predicted structures for virtually every known protein and gave biologists an unexpected head start. GPT-4 in early 2023 unified text and vision, passed the US bar exam in the top decile, and forced regulators to treat frontier models as potential national security issues. That autumn, the first global AI safety summit in the UK put existential risk on the diplomatic agenda, signaling that what had been armchair speculation was now policy conversation. Through 2024 and the first half of 2025, the pace has felt almost cinematic. OpenAI's GPT-4o, Omni, added live, low-latency audio and vision at half the cost of its predecessor. Google DeepMind's Gemini 2 series began to think aloud, exposing inner reasoning steps while remaining small enough for on-device use. And Anthropic's Claude 4 pushed context windows into novella length while acting as a competent coding agent. Lawmakers scrambled to keep up. The EU AI Act, approved in spring 2024, introduced a tiered risk regime for anything from toy chatbots to foundation models, and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission spent most of 2025 grappling with black box trading algorithms. These breakthroughs are already rippling outward. In healthcare, more than 1,000 AI-enabled devices have cleared the FDA, mostly in imaging, while large language model clinical co-pilots enter hospital pilots. Finance houses wrestle with the opacity of deep nets that now steer billions in daily trades. Robo-taxi companies run controlled programs in select cities, but safety, cost, and regulation keep full autonomy on a short leash. A reminder that superhuman perception doesn't automatically translate into human-like common sense. Which brings us to the perennial question: how close is a true singularity, the runaway feedback loop where self-improving AI eclipses human cognition and renders the future opaque? Forecasts from expert surveys cluster somewhere between the mid-2030s and 2060, depending on whether you ask about human-level general intelligence or something vastly beyond it, and the error bars are wide. What is clear is that leading labs now publish model system cards, disclosing strengths, failure modes, and misuse vectors, while governments debate compute audits, alignment research funding, and global guardrails. None of this is inevitable or self-correcting. Each advance reflects technical ingenuity, economic incentive, cultural fascination, and deliberate choices about openness, safety, and who benefits. Whether the curve ahead bends toward a cooperative intelligence boom or a destabilizing arms race will hinge on how researchers, companies, policymakers, and citizens engage right now. The story of machines outthinking their makers is still being drafted. We are all, willingly or not, part of the authoring team. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Share this with everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.